Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Mr. Chairman, captains and experts of the mining, oil and gas industry, let me also personally acknowledge Mr. Mireku, who has traveled all the way from Australia to grace this occasion, representatives of ministries and government agencies, members of the civil society organizations present, distinguished invited guests, students, friends from the Inky fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure for the invitation to be part of the 5th edition of the West African Institute of Mining, Metallurgy and Petroleum Annual Industry Conference 2023 under the theme Building a Resilient and Sustainable Natural Resources Industry Beyond Global Pandemic. I understand this event has brought together over 300 delegates and visitors from industry and the investor community to discuss and prefer solutions on how West African countries can develop their extractive resource potential through investment and industrialization to drive economic growth within the sub-region. Mr. Chair, I have been informed that the two-day event is bringing together participants from the oil and gas sector, the mining sector, government agencies, NGOs, academia, and the financial institutions. Let me, at this point, use the opportunity to welcome all participants who have traveled far and near to participate in this conference. Again, I am reliably informed that this event is fast establishing itself as one of the most important fora within the West Africa sub-region. And I say, may I take this opportunity to congratulate the organizers for maintaining the momentum for this event over the past years. Mr. Chair, while the extractive sector is a capital-intensive one, it is deeply connected to global supply chain and therefore vulnerable to swings in the global economy. The global pandemic that disrupted global supply chain in recent times, resulting in serious economic downturn being experienced across the world, therefore had a major deleterious effect on the natural resource sector. Extractive companies had to adjust to a new normal due to the restrictions on labor movement, resulting in reduction in upstream exploration, development, and production activities, as well as local service contracts and jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, resource-dependent countries like Ghana were dealt a serious economic blow due to the sudden slumps in revenues. Though the introduction of COVID-19 vaccines leading to the lifting of restrictions and a slight increase in commodity prices had led to a gradual recovery in the sector, the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war has dampened our recovery process. The ongoing global discourse, therefore, is on how to build resilient economies going forward that can withstand the next pandemic. Our mining industry is championing this development in a number of ways. But you will agree with me that building resilience will require a shift to more sustainable practices. That is why I think the theme for this year's event, building a resilient and sustainable natural resources industry beyond global pandemic, is not only apt, but also seeks to provide a platform for discussing appropriate and innovative ways of addressing global and national challenges confronting sustainable development through mining. I am also glad to learn that the event is dedicated not only to knowledge sharing and dissemination of innovations, but also to develop existing business interests in the country and promoting new opportunities in the value chain of the oil and gas and mining sectors. Mr. Chair, as we all know, Ghana is richly endowed with mineral resources, with gold accounting for about 95% of total mineral production of the country. The country is one of the largest producers of gold on the continent. The sector in 2021 contributed about 16.48% of Ghana government revenue and 35.6% in terms of total merchandise exports, and produced about 2.8 million ounces of gold, which resulted in export revenue of about $5.08 billion US. Also, in the same year, producing mining companies repatriated about 81.6% of foreign exchange into the economy. These achievements are indeed significant. The government comments the contribution of the various mining companies in the country to achieving this success. Mr. Chair, I will now address the subject matter of government policy objectives for the mining sector and enhancing the sustainability of the mining industry through legislation and transparency, which I have been asked to highlight. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is time to look beyond what the industry has achieved in terms of fiscal benefits to the economy. Ghana's accelerated economic development will require going beyond this and fostering the extractives, the minerals and mining, oil and gas industries being integrated with the rest of the other sectors of the economy. Minerals and mining policy. Mr. Chair, Ghana's minerals and mining policy aims at ensuring that mining contributes to sustainable development. The policy, therefore, seeks to ensure that while investor interests are protected, the mineral resources of Ghana are managed for the collective interests of the people of Ghana in the framework of the rule of law. The guiding principles of the policy, therefore, while ensuring compliance with the requisite environment, social, and governance requirements, seek the pursuit of optimal benefits for all stakeholders. This will require the adoption of a number of measures and initiatives, some of which I will not, or I will, dearly highlight for your consideration. Diversification of the mineral production base. Ladies and gentlemen, the government of Ghana is pursuing strategies to encourage investment into mineral other than the traditional minerals of gold, diamond, bauxite, manganese, etc. Recent geological investigations in some parts of the country have indicated that the potential for base metals, notably copper, zinc, nickel, chromium, lithium, etc., are very important for us to consider as a country. Mr. Chair, to optimize the benefits from these broad spectrum of resources while planning their discovery and use, Ghana is also making conscious efforts to add value to minerals known in the country. Presently, given the level of knowledge of their potential, the country's bauxite and iron ore resources are the focus for developing the following. 1, an integrated bauxite, alumina and aluminium project, and 2, an integrated iron and steel project, respectively. So far, government has established corporate entities to promote and see to the development and implementation of these programs. The government of Ghana welcomes private sector proposals for partnership in exploring and developing the mineral potential to create socio-economic value for all. And I am happy Mr. Henry Entry reiterated the point of exploration drive in this country. And we are focused on that and making sure we map out a deliberate effort in owing investors into this aspect of mining expedition. Ladies and gentlemen, reducing the cost of doing business. Such a government has also outlined an agenda to transform the industrial sector of the economy to ensure a win-win outcomes for both investors and the host country. This includes improving the business environment through regulatory reforms which will lead to reduction in bureaucracies associated with doing business in the country and also boost investor confidence. For example, through the Minerals Commission, the Mineral Cadastral Administration System that we commonly refer to as MCAS has been developed to aid in simplifying the application for an acquisition of mineral rights. The vision is to mitigate delays in acquiring such rights. On the score of governance, to ensure good governance of our resources and also to enable us to adhere to good international practices in the sector, the country has signed on to a number of conventions, including the following: Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI, in relation to flow of funds between industry and the public sector. The Kimberley Process Certification Scheme, that is the KPCS, for diamonds. Voluntary principles on security and human rights in the extractive sector, and African mining vision. Our local content. Touching on local content, Mr. Chair, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Minerals and Mining Regulations, LI 2431, came into force in December 2020. The purpose of the regulation, among others, is to promote job creation through the use of local expertise, goods and services, businesses, and financing in the mining industry value chain, and the retention of their benefits in the country. 2, achieve maximum local level earning country spend for the provision of goods and services in the mining industry value chain. 3, increase the capability and international competitiveness of domestic businesses. And 4, create mining and mineral-related and support industries that will provide jobs and sustain economic development. Mr. Chair, by Regulation 7 of the LI 2431, the Commission is required to publish and review annually a local procurement list which stipulates the goods and services with Ghanaian content which are to be procured locally in the Gazette. the website of the Commission, and a newspaper with nationwide circulation. Pursuant to the regulation, the 4th edition of the procurement list, which had 41 items, was published and implemented by the Minerals Commission in early 2022. Implementation of the current list, which is the 5th edition, which has 50 items connected on or commenced or connected and will be commenced on 1st January 2023. The role of investment promotion drives. It is in this context that Ghana has been an active participant in various investment promotion drives. An example is the participation in the annual mining Indaba in Cape Town. For this year, Ghana's theme for participating is, quote, leveraging over a century of mining to enhance value addition for the development of Ghana, unquote. Ghana's participation is therefore expected to promote investment to viable prospects for sustainable reconnaissance, prospecting, exploration, and mining. Also, it is expected to create platforms for building local champions in Ghana's mining industry. Ladies and gentlemen, the use of minerals and metals have played a crucial role in the development and continuation of human civilization. Minerals development comprises exploration for nature's mineral resources, their extraction from the earth crusts, and subsequent processing and recovery of derivative products for industrial and commercial purposes. These have been important human and business activities over the ages in the countries endowed with these resources. Such as Ghana is no exception. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana sees mining as a pillar of development. As such, government implements mining-friendly policies whilst strict and give compliance with ESG standards and forced to ensure that the interests of citizens and environmental responsibility are not supplanted, but monetary considerations on an appropriate balance is maintained. Mr. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, I would like to emphasize that it is appropriate, indeed critical, for all of us in the resource sector to exchange experiences, create various platforms, or use existing ones to work together to ensure that mining is done in a responsible and sustainable manner and the requisite benefits accrued to meet sustainable development objectives, and consequently aiming at achieving as many sustainable development goals as possible. I believe a forum such as this presents us with such an opportunity to explore common solutions to the current strategic challenges in our resource sector. I therefore urge all participants and exhibitors to avail themselves to ensure that the theme for the 5th edition of the WAIMM Industry Conference is actualized. The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will continue to support the efforts of mining companies in Ghana and the mining industry as a whole to stimulate new investments and exploration opportunities which are aimed at sustainable and equitable outcomes for investors, miners, financiers, and all other stakeholders. On this note, I wish you a successful conference and exhibition and hope that when we meet here again at the 6th edition of the WAIMM, we will have more success stories to share. Thank you for your attention.